Hey guys, and welcome back to Honda C-Rally X. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the HF versus other CRXs. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not claiming to be any expert. I have found a few really good articles online though that have kind of helped me out with what is all, what the differences are. So, some of the differences between an HF, a DX, and a SI are that the HF was designed specifically for high fuel efficiency. We can say it was like the original Honda Fit, if you want to call it that. Even though they used a sports car platform for it, they weren't ever intending on the HF to be quote unquote a sports car. The idea of it was that it was going to be 100% fuel efficient. So the car has a few unique features from the get-go. It is first off originally fitted with a 1.5 liter motor that only produced like 89 horsepower, and second off, it has a transmission that has taller gears in it than the DX and the SI, if I understand correctly. What that means is that by the time you get to fifth gear, you're a good, I think it's like 500 RPM lower at highway speeds than you are in the SI motor. But in performance world, that's not so good because a lot of times you want the lower end gearing. But honestly, it's quick enough for what I'm doing with it. I'm not going to be changing out the transmission or anything like that. And this car as an HF also only came with a set of drum brakes in the rear, not disc brakes. So a lot of people complained about that as far as the DX and the HF, but the reality of it is that Super Street had an article about these cars, I want to say like 2008 or so, and they found that the experience of a lot of road racers with these cars is that they didn't need to really convert the rear end over to disc brakes because the car weighs so little that the drum brakes work pretty much just fine. They are a sufficient braking system for this car, considering that the setup seems to be something like 75-35 braking or 65 I'm sorry, not 75-35, 65-35 ish. I don't have any way of really measuring that to know if that's true, but that's what it kind of seems. Now, a couple other things that they did to the HF that was interesting is to eliminate weight. The car, I noticed it's like really loud inside, and my friends have had SI versions of the CRX this same generation, and they weren't nearly as loud, and evidently they didn't put in the majority of the sound deadening in this car because it just reduced weight and therefore made it more fuel efficient. That's actually kind of good for me because it's one less step. A lot of racers take out sound deadening stuff, and I was going to as well, just to eliminate weight because it affects body roll and all kinds of other stuff. But so yeah, that's already kind of done for me to a large degree. I'll have to do a lot less of that. And then another thing they did is they put in a smaller gas tank. I think it's like 1.3 or 1.8 gallons smaller in this gas tank than the others, once again to reduce weight. So you have that going on as well. And so that makes this car a unique and interesting platform for a lot of things. So the car really is a fairly good platform to start with as far as weight and the chassis goes. Now, the motor is just junk from the factory, and that's why in the last episode I mentioned that the previous owner had put a 1.6 liter JDM import motor in this car, which had considerable amounts more of horsepower. I think it had like an extra 36 horsepower in the motor from the factory one that came in it to the one he put in it. From the factory, it's probably running around 110, 106 horsepower or something like that. So there's lots of stuff on this car that make it a good platform to start with. The downside to this car is that you have to do a lot to make it worth it. If you just go out and buy a HF and it has the 1.5 liter motor in it, you might as well just assume that motor is junk and you need to put a different motor in it to be any kind of performance-wise competitive. I'm not trying to compete, I'm just having fun in the car, but I'm having lots of fun and I'm trying to build it for the interest of building it because I'm a fabricator and I like cars, and for you guys. So please stick around and see what else I'm going to do to the car. Don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe. Beside the subscription button in YouTube, there's a bell. Please hit that bell. That'll make sure that you don't miss one notification. Every video I put up, you're notified on. And I hope to see you guys in the next video. See you later.